les deux fusions justement pour établir ou bien pour mettre sur pied le but pour lequel Dieu les a mis ensemble. Et si nous voulons parler même des compatibilités, nous savons que généralement, pour que deux personnes se marient, il faut minimum des compatibilités. On ne va pas se limiter juste à une compatibilité. Il faut minimum des compatibilités et parfois ça va même jusqu'à la compatibilité éducationnelle, le type d'éducation que chacun a reçu. Parce que nous avons vu comment quelqu'un peut sortir d'une éducation bien plus élevée et quelqu'un d'autre n'a même pas d'éducation. Et dans le mariage, ce sont des combats parce qu'il y a incompréhension au niveau éducationnel. Et il faut aussi la compréhension, pardon, la compatibilité au niveau spirituel, tel peut-être est de quelle d'une croyance autre, l'autre est d'une autre croyance. Et ça, lorsqu'il y a une telle fusion, ça fait qu'il y a incompatibilité. Et nous voyons clairement que une relation du comment et pourquoi est visible dans le cadre du mariage. Parce que les deux se mettent ensemble pour former un but bien précis. On ne peut pas parler de mariage sans parler d'homme. On ne peut pas non plus parler de mariage sans parler de femme. Bon, si on parle du mariage que Dieu a instauré, les deux vont de pair. Ce sont les deux parties qui se mettent ensemble pour devenir quelque chose ou une vision qui a déjà été donnée bien à l'avance à Dieu par l'homme. Et l'homme, lui, maintenant, il se met, il cherche à convaincre, il cherche à mettre en exergue son charisme afin justement de voir qui va s'accrocher ou qui va épouser son idée. Et c'est comme ça que la femme, elle également, elle entre dans la mission ou elle entre dans la vision. Et les deux maintenant mettent sur pied le projet qui, bien sûr, sera à long terme. Parce qu'une idée, une vision ou un rêve, un pourquoi, ce n'est pas une affaire d'un jour. La finalité, c'est pas un jour. La finalité, c'est un projet à vie. Et le mariage, c'est justement ça. De ce il y a cette vision que Dieu a donnée. Et la vision ne s'arrête jamais avec la mort. Une bonne vision continue parce qu'il y aura toujours des héritiers qui vont continuer la vision. Et donc, c'est un peu ça, la relation entre le pourquoi et le comment. Les deux vont ensemble, l'un ne passe pas sans l'autre et c'est un partenariat ou alors une vision commune dans le but de produire quelque chose sur le long terme afin justement que les hommes puissent bénéficier. Parce que tout partenariat, toute vision, tout rêve, toute idéologie, les bénéficiaires premiers, ce sont les hommes. C'est afin que les hommes puissent en bénéficier. Et donc, voilà, merci beaucoup de m'avoir suivi. C'est ce que je peux dire sur ce chapitre 8. Commencer par pourquoi, mais comment. Merci.
Merci beaucoup so much. You did a wonderful job with the chapter. You did marvelous with the chapter. Sheila Rose. Rose, are you there, please?
Yes, I'm getting very well.
Okay. You did a very wonderful job with the chapter.
Thank you.
You brought everything life. You brought the examples from the book. I mean, we're not by this judging. We're just saying that we appreciate how you went, how you did an in-depth job on this chapter, and we're very grateful. Thank you. Thank you for opening it up to us. Thank you for bringing your perspective and for bringing out insights, the differences and the similarities between those who do the great job to pull it out for us. And for that, we're very, very grateful.
Thank you.
At the beginning of the chapter, and which you outlined, which you stated, at the beginning of the chapter, the writer is very clear to say that charisma and energy are not the same thing. And then it brings in all the examples that you're very grateful for how you saw it and for how you brought it to us. Thank you so very much. I like how you said what you said about clarity in as regards the why. If your why is not clear, and we have seen that several times in the past, that the clarity of your why helps you to surmount challenges when they come. I'm putting it in my own words. The clarity of your why helps you to surmount challenges when they come. And then that passion also, with you brought it with the example of who's this guy who went to the moon? You brought it with his example, how his passion drove his why, his passion. Yes, I'm Neil Armstrong. I don't know if it's Neil or I've forgotten. That the how is carried by those who work to see that the why works, or those who work. The how is carried, the how, lies on the shoulders of those who work to see that the why is brought to life. I'm putting it all in my own words. We all read and we have an understanding of it. There is a general understanding, but we all have different perspectives to it. And when you brought it, you really see that you have said, which were very insightful. Not to repeat all that you said, which were very eye-opening. We just want to appreciate you once again. Thank you so much. And now it's brought out some things, or did not see it from Rosine's perspective. Thank you, Rosine.
Thank you very much.
Our mics are all off. Does that mean, Mabia, your own is on? Thank you.
Yeah, so my own is on. I'm just following.
Okay, Mabia. All right. Rosine actually did stating, like I said before, written in the book. There is also there is one thing that I would like to bring out that she did not, about this brother of a guy, is that he is not just he does not just run companies. He leads movements. He is the guy with the why. With the how. And so he has been able to bring himself, he's been able to fashion himself in a way that those who carry the why come to ask him how they should do it. Which tells us that the people with the how are very important. Like Rosine said, they complement each other. The why and the how people complement each other. And that we saw so many other examples. But our leading example in the book is Bruder. Simon Sinek brings out Bruder, and then he states, he brings a point, the high point, in the tipping point for Bruder is when he used the megaphone. And now, what is the megaphone? The megaphone, as I understood, is that aspect of your work, or is that aspect of whatever you do that makes you stand out, and that from there you can now achieve many other things. You can now set other things. It sets the ball rolling for many other things, for many other achievements. Now, Bruder is not the why guy. He is not a visionary. He doesn't carry the vision. But he is that guy who is able, and from working with many companies, he's been able to train himself or to bring himself to that place where he is the go-to person. When the why people, when the visionaries, those who see far, when they see far and don't know how to go about, he is the go-to person. And then in his work, he's been able to create a foundation that now helps him to amplify every other, which otherwise as the megaphone. Can I be heard, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Mabia. So we have seen in the chapter, there are people like Bruder, whose primary role is to carry the how, is to help the how, the people with the how, know how to do or implement, bring the vision to life. I'll translate loosely, I'll try to repeat what Rosine said. Should there be someone who does not clearly understand what Rosine said, I'll try to loosely say some things. And she was just very much in line with that which I saw in the book. So I'll just try to run through what she saw again. And then we give room for questions to her or to myself. So we have seen there are two types of visionaries. There are two types. We could say two types of leaders. Those who do, or those who carry the vision, those who birth the vision, those who have the why. And then we also have those who help the why come alive, are those with what would admit from previous chapters. We will agree from previous chapters that the why is the vision. The why is the core, or the why is the breath of any project. It is the life of any project, a company, and then also that it is important to be clear on the why we do things. That is what draws. Rosine said that. That is what attracts people to us. But can we walk? Can people with the why walk solo? It is clear in this chapter, Simon Sinek says that it is impossible. It is almost impossible for people with the why to walk solo. And he stated many examples. He stated the example of Martin Luther King Jr., who had Albert Turney, if Rosine, please, can you type the name in the chat box for us?
The name of the...
So he had that ally who was the one who carried the why. The writer states in the book that Martin Luther... The name of Martin Luther King's ally.
Abernathy.
Can you please type it in the chat box?
Yes.
Abernathy. Yeah. So Abernathy, the writer tells, thank you, Rose. Thank you. The writer is clear to tell us, or he does not mince words when he tells us that Martin Luther King could not have changed America alone. And then we hear Abernathy in the book. He clearly states, he is quoted in the book to have said that they were the ones, who told the people. Luther came with a vision. He knew a little bit of how it could work, but he could not go down to the implementation. He could not go down to the tiny nitty-gritties of the how. So the people with the how are very, very, very important. They are almost the core. What is advantageous or what stands out with the people who carry the why, the visionaries, are that they see far. They see far. They can tell you how the things will unfold. But they are not the starters. They are not the kickstarters. Voila. I choose to use kickstarters. They are not the kickstarters. Whereas the people with the how, they are the kickstarters. They are the people for the now. They start with the now. And while I read this chapter, I realized that one of the things that is lacking in my own life, I don't have the how people. So I realized also that since we're bringing it to life, since we're making it practical, since we are leaders who are learning to apply and not just to have the head knowledge, I realized that I cannot go too far who know the how, and which also means that I have not inspired people to believe my why enough. If we cannot inspire people to believe our why, to be able to help us run with the vision that we carry, we will only hang around. Simon Sinek said that Martin Luther's dream would have only ended as a dream. Our visions will only end as a dream, number one, which therefore calls for us for clarity. We must have our visions must be so clear that when we speak them, when we share them, people can carry them and run with it. And they must be able to understand it well enough so that even whatever we tell them, however little we tell them, can be able to help them to take it off the ground and run with it. With the how, they are interested. Rosine said it, and I also saw it, that they are interested in the talent of those who know the why, or of those who carry the why. People with the how, they are interested in the talent. They are interested in the knowledge. We see that in the case of Walt and Roy Disney. While Walt Disney had the talent to do all the designing, and his interest, he had that passion and interest in cartooning, in doing all of that. His brother Roy was interested in the business part of it. His brother Roy was interested in how to monetize it. We would say how to monetize it. Now, a combination of both of them brought an explosion in the industry. They met. Walt's vision was clear enough for Roy to buy into it and bring part of it, and then we stand strong because these two came together. So if we don't have people, if we've not been able to translate, to communicate our why enough, so that we can have people who will follow. And remember that if we're true leaders, they will follow for nothing. People will follow for nothing. They will follow because they want to see the dream come alive. They will follow because they believe in what we believe in. And so we are the first believers of what we believe in. Our belief in what we believe in will translate, if we can communicate it properly, it will translate to a burden in the hearts of those who carry our how. If we read this chapter, in fact, as this book unfolds, it feels to me like the rest of what we've done. In fact, like in the case of his perfect why, he understood how to do it. He is even compared to the person with energy, to the CEO of Microsoft, the CEO who replaced him, who has a lot of energy, who could so motivate and get the crowds, get the employees excited. But of what use is all that excitement? Of what use is all that inspiration, all that motivation without lasting impact, which is charisma? Simon Sinek tells us that charisma can almost not be felt, but it has lasting impact. How we communicate, how we speak it to the people, and how we have believed it ourselves is what we transmit through charisma. It is not transmitted through energy. Energy is short term. Energy is like, it will not have lasting impact. It will not have a lasting effect. He says energy can be gotten from a good night's sleep or from caffeine. That one set me really laughing, because we have people like that who are quite energetic, but who don't have lasting impact. Whereas you have those few speakers, a few people who will come around and say so little, but will leave you with a forever memory, will leave you, if it is about a social movement or a product, they will leave you an impact that you would hold on to for life, and you will want to be their crusader as well. You will want to be a carrier of their message, not because they brought energy, not because they brought excitement into it, no, but because they brought genuineness. Number one, genuineness, a belief in what they themselves are selling, and then they got you to believe by simply transmitting their why properly. So it is incumbent on us to work on our why. But while we work on our why, this chapter has left me with the understanding that the reason I don't have how people at this point in my walk, in my leadership journey, the reason I don't have how people yet is because I've not made my why clear enough. Is that a bad thing? No, we're learning. Is that a weakness? I'm glad I have one, so I can build on it, so I can build strength, so I can use the remaining part of this book and the rest of this elevation journey. By the time this journey is over, or by the time this module is over, my why would have gained enough strength and clarity. I would have spoken enough belief into it. I would have breathed, I would have put in it my own breath, such that anyone who hears it, or anyone. So I brought in what I did in the last few minutes. I brought in a bit of the theories, a bit of the examples in the book, and my personal experience, and as well as my personal lessons. I hope that someone was able to pick up something from it, and that by now someone has something to share from what Rosina and I have shared. The mic is open.
Good evening, elevated ladies.
Good evening, Mirabel.
Okay, someone may want. Good evening. Oh, thank you, Lady Love. Good evening.
It's Mirabel that is on.
Oh, all right, Mabia Mirabel, you're welcome. Good evening.
Good evening. I'd like to appreciate the presenter for tonight.
Thank you.
What I picked out of this chapter, and when the speaker was presenting, was that energy, that's energy which excites. It excites temporarily, and it also motivates. And then on the other hand, charisma inspires. And also that energy is easy to measure, is easy to see, and can be copied. But charisma is somehow not easy to define and is nearly impossible to measure. And also it's elusive to even to copy. And I also learned from this chapter that all great leaders have charisma, because all great leaders, they have clarity of their purpose, which is their why. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we are getting you, Miracle.
Okay. That all great leaders, they have
Yes,
clarity.
you can.
They have clarity of their purpose, which is their why. And so we see that charisma is it's a magnetic way of communicating that actually makes others want to listen to someone speaking. And it also makes the listeners to trust the person, to trust the speaker, and also follow them. And we see that I can share with us my experience about energy, excites, and charisma. Like where I work, you see that at times when we have a new project, like maybe we will need to set out for loan recovery, you see the manager will come in. When we have a meeting, the manager comes into the meeting, he launches the reason why we are going out. He walks around with high energy. He gives a big gesture, speaks in a loud voice. He will say, all right, everyone, this is going to be amazing. We are going to crush this. Let's go, let's go. You know, you see him making his hands like this, and you see that the team feels pumped up in the moment. Everyone is energized in the moment. Everyone is energized in the moment. Everyone is excited. And when they start the meeting, when the meeting starts going on, you see that after all the excitement, you see the same manager, he now starts speaking very calmly, very confidently, and then he creates a connection. He creates a connection with the workers, saying, I know this project is maybe ambitious, but I believe in every person in this room that we are going to make something to change. Like as we are going out this time around, we'll be able to recover a very huge amount of delinquent loans that were contracted by our members. And so this brings us to the point where you see the workers, they now feel, we see that the workers or maybe the team, they feel a deeper motivation. They have some pride in them, they have trust and a sense of purpose. That's the why. As they are going out for the loan recovery, they already have their why they are going, and their why will be really that strong as they go out. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Maribel. Thank you so much. And for that practical example, thank you. Each time we have a practical example, it draws us closer to an understanding of the concept or what the writer is trying to communicate. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Quindolin says her contribution is an example of someone carrying a vision of opening a school and has a strong why he or she is opening the school, but he needs people of the how to go about it to help him realize his vision. And the how people will be the teachers. Yes, Gwendolyn, the how people will be the teachers, but there are also administrators that are not necessarily teachers that help to lay the foundation for a structure or a school. So the how people, a little more than just the teachers, are the administrators, those who lay the foundation, those who know how to set it up, you know. And of course, yes, the teachers are also a part of the how in a vision like a school. We have a few more minutes to go, and I would like to bring us to our person, one of the examples that we did not really throw light on. I started to talk about him, Ron Bruder. Ron Bruder, Simon Sinek says of him that he knows that success is a team sport. He knows, despite all his successes in business, despite the fact that he himself has achieved much and that he has helped a lot of companies come to light or achieve great success, he knows that success is a team sport. So he is the how man, but he is the how man that brings in other how people. So it does not just suffice to have one how person. It is also important to have a how person that understands the impact or the importance of other how people, that understands the importance of teamwork. And we cannot even rush to having the how people if we have not set the foundation, if we have not laid the proper foundation. The proper foundation to our why will be the habits that we surround our why with, which will consist of our daily habits like consistency, doing what we're supposed to do to build. Even, just a thought on your why, a daily thought on your why, not too much. A day, giving your why daily thought is already a lot of work you're doing to it. It commits your entire body, the people around you, and God. So heaven knows he's not wasting his time to have given you that why, to have put that purpose in your hand. You yourself, you're making effort by thinking about it, by aligning our when we align our actions towards our why, we will attract the how. Because someone just needs to see how we live. We're here because we have seen the life of our coach. Had it been we didn't see anything about her, it would be difficult for us to follow. It will be difficult for us to rally behind her. It will be difficult for us to want to do what she is doing. So when we align our daily actions to our why, our daily habits, our behavior to our why, we inadvertently or easily attract the people that will help us in the how. So one of my big takeaways, I don't know if it's yours too today, is that how is teamwork. When we find people who carry our how and believe in what we believe in, they have the ability, the natural ability to grow our team for us. Because they too understand, like we've seen in the case of Ron Bruder, they too understand that they cannot do it on their own. And then they can also be a very, very strong force of attraction. And this is my assessment from reading the book. Today we are seeing, in the case of Martin Luther, we're seeing the case of Ralph Abernathy. But we also have the case of John. He is one of the people who attracted the people, the likes of I've forgotten his other name, but his surname is John. He attracted, it is his company with Martin Luther King that attracted other people, that brought other people to follow. So when we have the visionary, when we have our why, and we've been able to communicate our why in a way that attracts maybe the first few how people to us, they have the ability to expand our following. They have the ability to bring in the right people. So our how people are very important. They are very, very key team builders. And so as we get on in the journey, as we live daily, we want to ask if our actions actually align. In my notes, I said we have to ask if our actions align, if our daily actions align with our why, if we are living it out through how we behave, through the actions, and our how will be seen in our actions, in the daily actions that we take. Can the actions we take draw people to us? Will our actions draw or deter people from us? It is our actions that will make a change. So we too have a role in our how, in creating a good how for ourselves. And a glaring example, like I mentioned earlier, is our coach. It says, in my notes, I said to lead effectively, we must clarify our why. Rosine said that. I'm repeating it again. We must develop strong habits. I'm repeating it again, that align with our how. What are some of the strong habits? Consistency. Taking day by day, steps day by day. Quindolene mentioned a vision like a school. What are the daily actions? I mean that even one thought a day, or reviewing. You must not think a fresh thought, but reviewing an old thought. Rethinking around an old thought, around an old idea concerning the same vision is a step that you're taking towards the how. So nothing can be neglected. Nothing whatsoever can be neglected. We know the journey. Steve, I don't know if Patience is in class to remember or to remind us. She would very well remember that Steve Job and Steve Womack have been a major example in our class. We have seen them over and over. They did not just appear. It was days of consistency. It was days of Apple One, from moving from Apple One to Apple this and Apple that and Apple that. And here we are with Apple 16 and MacBooks and everything. But what did they start with? They started with the intention to change the paradigm, to have everyone have a laptop, have something that can have them work freely, or have work can help them work more easily. And from there, they started improving. No. So we're rounding off with today's chapter, which was a very, very interesting read. I still encourage us to find time. I know that time is a big deal for us as